Okay, thank you. It's a little kind of dark. Do you want to put light on or what? It's okay? All right, okay. Thank you. So let's start with you know our short meditation. And so as usual, when you do the meditation, probably best to set the motivation, check with your body posture, and then settling the you know mind. Okay. So just a reminder, straight your spine is the most important, and then the neck, just in natural relaxed manner, and then the two shoulder, the arm, completely in natural. Yeah, you could use that. Thank you. Yeah, the two arms just completely relax and natural, and then mm, the eye half closed. If possible, try to just focus on the tip of your nose, and then okay. So now we have, I think, set our body posture. Make sure that there's not kind of tense or anything, any kind of discomfortable with your body. Like check with the knees, the feet, and then the spine, and then the shoulder, and then the neck, and then the eyes. Okay, very gently and mindfully. And then when you breathe, breathe really naturally and really take deep breath. Exhale and inhale and exhale and inhale. Try to be really be present as much as possible. And then I think it's good to visualize the refuge here now. So we are going to meditate. The meditation, we're meditating not with the body, that our mind is going to be meditated. The mind should be meditating often, uh, focusing on object, or the object could be external as well as internal. So the breath could be one object, but if you want to visualize the fish field, mm, let's just bring Buddha Shakyamuni in front of you, or any other enlightened being, or any other uh, noble beings or teachers or gods that you regard them as your role model or object of your refuge. You can visualize them in front of you, and if possible, try to bring in your mind as clear as possible. And when I'm saying clear as possible, meaning just check with the if you're your teacher or your parent or anybody, that you use them as your role model for follow your life, in the right path. Someone who is leading you to the right path, that's your role model, right? It could be in person, could be someone in the past history that came and left their teaching as instruction for us. And so in your visualizing then as clear as possible, meaning check with the body size, and then the face and the ear and the neck and the mouth and everything. Just bring very clearly as much as possible in your mind. Like when you're looking at the mirror, your image just show clearly in the mirror, right? Same thing, just bring the object in your mind. So your mind is the mirror, and then the object appearing in your mind is your object of refuge. And then imagine that the Buddha Shakyamuni or His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who is your source of benefit, meaning object of refuge means source of your benefit, and it's surrounded by all enlightened being, compassionate being, surrounded by like the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas around them, and looking upon us like their parents looking upon their only child. Okay, meaning here we are the child, and then they are here to help us. And what I mean help us is guide us to the right path, the right practice. And then in what practice we want to do, we want it to become the most compassionate person as possible, as smart and skillful person as possible. That's our path. And we're trying to practice that by learning the psychology. How can you really how can you really make some transformation cognitively, so not just only yourself, but all other beings, our other fellows, sentient beings are also with you or with us. So now we have the refuge field and the bodhicitta field. The second one is known as some bodhicitta fields, meaning all the enlightened beings are in front of you to help clear our path, and then all other fellow sentient beings are, with us to walk that right path. Because, I want to transform my mind and become most compassionate person as possible to benefit all others. So if you are able to benefit others, our own benefit or our own, goal or the vision will fulfill automatically. Okay, with this in mind, we will do 5 minutes single point meditation. Your mind could be focused on the object, so the object of refuge that we have visualized. You don't have to shift to the breathing. But if you want to focus on the breath, that's okay. Well, if you want to shift the focus on the breath, then with the mind that you have in the refuge field in front of you and the bodhicitta field surrounded you, it's there in person, like very radiant, very fresh, and ready to make some transformation, transformation. And then the mind should remain like a very single pointed as much as possible, and then single pointed, but at the same time clear, assertive, clear, sharp. Okay. And now we'll do the breathing. I mean, if you want to shift the breathing, you can. If not, focus on the object, the refuge itself. So we'll do 5 minutes of meditation. Okay. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. You want to get it a little bit? Okay, so thank you for coming. Are you good? No? So you want to meditate a little bit? Oh, you already did that. That's good. Good. Okay, so we have set our motivation and a little bit of the meditation. And now we are going to start. We will, and this, the verses that at the beginning is cut, it has a lot of really, really deep meanings are there. So maybe, I know, it's okay, just get some shallow meaning at the beginning. And then when you go to the next, like the division, the definition, and then go back to this, like at the beginning where the verses are there. This is, the mention in the sutras and the commentaries, and explaining what is mind, how it is, how the universe came to being, whether it's externally, objectively over there, or is it actually mentally kind of creation or mentally imputed? In other words, mentally imputed. So it's not really out there, meaning there you have heard that there's like, how you really meditate, like emptiness, interdependency. Have you heard that? It's the core teaching of the Buddhism. Emptiness and wisdom. We call it the wisdom emptiness and the bodhicitta, or the compassion. These two are the main two wings that you have to apply in our practice if you want to remove the obscuration to achieve complete freedom or peace and long-lasting happiness. These are the two goals. So, when you say complete peace, if you are able to remove all the mental, the dirt or the affliction, the root cause, which is ignorance. Ignorance is actually exactly the, like a mind, afflicted mind, which hold the reality. It's not really knowing the reality. Instead, just holding it very blindly. But there's this kind of rough sort of understanding there, okay? Ignorance, it's kind of, the word that when you say ignorance, you don't know, right? Not knowing what it is. So the mind that not knowing, right? But the mind that, holding the reality, the opposite, instead of, looking the true nature. The true nature could have the conventional true nature and then the ultimate true natures. So we are not really able to see the ultimate true nature of the reality of the mind, the reality of the external, the reality of surrounding ourselves. Because of that, we are just not knowing the clear thing, not knowing the reality. That's why you call this, we are ignorant. So then, can we remove that? Can we transform that, or can we eliminate that? Another word, eliminate, got it? You can eliminate that by applying, by shining the wisdom, like knowing the reality. So for that, learning, studying, contemplating is required. And then need to study about what is the mind, how you really operate, how you came to being, and how can you really improve our mind. If we are able to improve our mind, and then the negativities of the physical body, verbal and physical, naturally transform. Everything is driven by mind. I think this is what some of the verses are saying. It means it's quite clear, actually, right? Almost everything is driven by mind. And these days people are talking a lot about AI, internet, like these are the people who putting into the program. without the people, without the, mental intelligence. I don't know whether the, like a device have intelligence or not, but okay, so using the same label, but in reality, intelligent wisdom is only actually belong to sentient beings, not really non-sentient. I could make that like kind of this statement. Whether you agree or not doesn't matter. You can debate. So you can say, no, I don't agree with that because, yeah, I have the intelligence. Then, the robot, say, robot have the intelligence. And, have you seen there's one kind of interesting video? He's quite friend, like a famous meditator, Buddhist meditator, has been practicing for a long time in Buddhism from France, a monk. Matthew Ricard, have you heard? He's
Yes.
quite, yeah, Matthew Ricard. He's a really, I think he's been practicing Buddhism for a long, long, long time. And he's actually one of the main kind of contributor or presenter for the Mind and Life conference. And I saw one, I think a few months ago, and there was a robot. I have the video in my phone. It's good to just check sometime. There was a robot, and then the robot was, like communicating. I don't know, the program is somebody, the engineer, whatever, whoever I put this program, that the robot communicate with us. And then he was just standing and next to the robot and asking that, hello, and then the robot, like answering, hello. And then he said, do you experience the consciousness as a first person experience? Can you experience as a first person experience? What is that? And the robot is explaining certain kind of extent. He was so crazy. He was meditating, this minor life for like a long time presenter, and then also he's a great meditator for a long time. I think he's really good monk. I think monk meditator, and then he have written a lot of books. I think his father was a physicist, I guess. And he was asking who is communicating with the robot, and the robot was saying he or she, I don't know, answering. It's that's crazy. I'm sorry. I just said that's crazy. And I just happened to share with some WhatsApp group. This is crazy. But anyway, it's not crazy. Well, I don't know why they're creating these things. I have no idea why you're creating the robot. Right? I don't know what does, I mean, you have robot waiter, right, at the restaurant? Yeah, I saw in Japan somewhere they have a robot. I saw not only just in Japan, I mean somewhere there you could order food and then from the restaurant they put into the box and then some sort of robot. I think there's a remote control that travel from the restaurant to the people who have ordered the food. They deliver these things. It's more like it's all programmed by the human being who have learned how to these gadget work. So how the programming putting into the data, whatever you call it, putting in there, and the my very sophisticated mind or the intelligent, the person, the engineer, the tech, the tech people, they create it. So when you say they created it, of course the physical things are there. You need to put in the right place, otherwise it won't work, right? Everything is planned by their mind. Everything is planned by their, knowledge. Everything's planned by their, understanding how the external thing work. Everything was planned really, really well planned by, if I want to put this phone on this table, my mind really kind of order or like tell me, put the phone on here. And then my hand will go and pick up and put it here. It's very simple, right? So because of that, it's to understand mind, to direct the mind in the right direction is the most important thing. It's okay. I don't know all this different. Sometimes it's too much kind of robot thing or a little distraction, I guess. But you can't really reject because it's a reality that there. And I guess there are some help you can learn something from them too. Why not? They are gadgets. They are just external things, so you don't have to worry much unless we are able to control our own mind. If we are able to control our mind, then we are on the right track. But then to improve mind, it takes time to learn about how can you expand your knowledge, how can you really nurture with your compassion and loving and caring. Nurturing means we have the seed, and then by learning this different scripture and then different teachings that are from coming from different tradition, apply them, test them. Same thing. If you like the food or not, without testing, we won't be able to tell whether you like it or not. Same thing, learn the word, learn from the word, and then try to understand the meaning and then apply. These three should go like side by side. Otherwise, sometimes can become very kind of dry knowledge. And it's good to have, why not? But if you do not really apply, it doesn't mean much. So that's why the how many verses we have? One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, 5 verses. And now I think we haven't read what His Holiness the Dalai Lama says. So His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who is the embodied, is called this embodiment of compassion. There's another word we use, the universal compassion or the peace and compassion ambassador, different terms you can use, but he is the real compassionate person. And he's not God. I don't know. I'm sorry. whether he's God or not, I have no idea. But to me, he's a person. For all of us, he's a really human being with full of compassion and caring, and he's very easy to relate with anybody. When you get, if anybody of you get a chance to come to, India to have his audience with him, you will feel it. You know, so it's really loving, caring teachers. Okay, so there's no chances that you will be in wrong direction if you follow his teaching. It's not. I'm not talking bias because of his Buddhist teacher. He's a Buddhist teacher, of course, but he's he's a universal Buddhist teacher. Sorry, universal teacher, meaning who teach compassion, learning, loving, care, and no bias, no discriminate among people. Whoever in need, he's tell that. And if you read his biography, and when he was growing, his best friend are those who are sweeping, who are cooking. His best friends are them, not really the top leader or whatever. Of course, the leaders are also his friend. Anyway, this is a little bit that came to my mind. I don't know why saying. Okay, His Holiness. So His Holiness say about the mind here. Uh, His Holiness the Dalai Lama say in dialogue with Western scientists in 1991. It's quite long ago, right? There are two reasons why it is important to understand the nature of the mind. So why we study mind? This was the question that put, right? So now here explaining why we need to study mind. So His Holiness actually where he have mentioned like you need to understand two parts, two things. And then let's see what are the two. One is because there is innate connection between mind and karma, our actions. Okay, 1 minute, what is that? Okay, good. Okay, there are two reasons. This is actually in 1991, so you could have different, explanation and different, commentary that scholars may have, because there are, you know, His Holiness has participated within science, like in what was that? In dialogue with this Western scientists and Buddhist philosopher, or the philosopher in general, not particularly Buddhist. And when they are having this Mind and Life conference or the other the dialogue with the scientists, where they have many philosophers coming from different traditions, Western scholars, Western philosopher, Greek, French, American, of course, and then from India, and sometimes even like a Korean, Japanese, Chinese. So many philosophers are there, and then scientists are there. So if you have time, if you are interested, I think most of the like the dialogue, the videos are available on YouTube, and I think most of them are there, and they are all in English language. So, if you just watch one episode one day or maybe per week or something like that, you will find out what, in the past, His Holiness himself, like, like in person attending this dialogue. So now since he's, like in 90s, so maybe he just give an audience, otherwise, not much time he didn't have that much time, but he's encouraging the younger monks and the nuns to engage with that, to continue his legacy, which is very important because our world is driven by technology or mind. You can ask that. Whether our world is driven by technology or mind. You can ask that question for ourselves. But when you look at out there, if you go to the university campus and then the library, anyway, school, classroom, without how to use the technology, there's almost no way you can learn, right? Even, there's no way you can attend class. You have to register. You have to create your, I don't know what you call it, an account to have the access of the library, the lesson, and then yeah, these are all there. That's why I'm saying it's driven by mind and technology. Yes, driven by technology, but then it was created by someone who have mind, someone who have wisdom, someone who have knowledge, someone who is expert, right? So one thing is very important thing, we can't become slavery of the technology. Are you getting that? Instead, use the technology as a tool. We are the boss. What do you think? We are the boss, and then the main boss is our mind. Whether the boss will direct you to the fall, like throw away from the cliff or bring it up, it's up to us, right? What do you do? You have any questions?
This is actually a really important problem that we're coming up upon in our classroom, especially with respect to artificial and AI.
Uh-huh.
Um, because I think a lot of my students' minds are being caused by technology
Uh-huh.
because they right they read these things that AI generate and don't really always
Generate.
ask questions or think too hard about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me ask this technology a question, and then they think it right and then say it. So these ways that what people now think are so influenced by these new forms of technology.
Yeah.
You know?
But
Mm-hmm.
I had to just yesterday, the topic of my course was all about this actually, and it was like talking about plagiarism and talking about like how we can actually like contribute our own analysis to things. Like we can think, we still can think, regardless of the option to not think,
Right,
And so
right.
I think the fact that we are aware that this is happening and we're like trying to take steps to like yeah, just intervene, I think shows that there's like overall,
Mm-hmm.
on the whole,
Mm-hmm.
mind is still mind is still controlling the technology.
Mind is still controlling, yes. So I think the best thing is what we have to do is we can't really be quick to react. Give space for ourselves, give time for ourselves, think before making kind of comment and criticize or I don't know, whatever. Because those who are creating this AI, the generating programming things, they must have first thought for they must have good motivation for it. They must have good motivation. I'm not sure why.
Not necessarily, because they're just out for their profit and to get ahead of the next company. And so there's this chance that AI becomes this self-learning mechanism that outpaces our minds and it takes on a life of its own. And then who's the subject of whose control?
The mind.
No, it might not be. Though at some point,
Why not? Why not? This is really interesting thing, one. This is why we debate. It's really good to debate. Okay. Yes, what you're saying.
If it advances to general intelligence where it self-learns and doesn't need us to learn anymore, it learns on its own and will outpace us.
Who learned it?
will learn on its own.
The computer learn its own. What do you mean by that? Okay, this is very important to how do you really make that in a discussion? The computer learning or the person who is like using the computer learning?
So it started with us doing all the programming,
Mhm.
but it can get to a point where it becomes to self-learn on its own. And when it gets,
Self-learn meaning?
it can generate its own concepts and thoughts and art and anything.
Concept.
So its own ideas.
Okay, now let me ask you the question now. Do the computer have concept?
It may develop that. It may get to the point where it's
The person put some data to create or generate certain thing, or the computer itself have a kind of conscious or kind of plan to create this and that.
eventually it may have its own.
Okay,
That's
you're
called-
saying, are you saying that the computer or the machine could have like a brain or the heart or the mind like us?
Well, it doesn't have to have a heart or it doesn't
No, this is the core thing.
doesn't have to have
This is the main kind of
physiology.
argument we have to check.
It doesn't have to have the physiology of us. but
Right.
It can have the thought process that go beyond us,
Thought
where-
processes.
where it starts thinking on its own, creating its own.
You can
concepts.
debate a lot. This is very good debate. Would you say the robot is human being or person?
It doesn't have to be.
No, doesn't have to be or have to be. This when you debate, you have to be really precise. You have to answer yes or no. It's not really argument. It's not really political thing. It's just mere try to understand. Okay, the robot. Let's take. This is robot. This is human being. Okay, this is robot and this is human being. Do we agree that both the robot and then the human being have the same kind of structure of the physical law, physiology, as well as the consciousness? They call this a consciousness. They use this term consciousness in the AI also. Not only just AI. AI is like a recent kind of development, but it's not that recent. I just was reading. It has been there for quite a long time. But a different model or different programming is coming up these days, I guess, right? So what I was saying is the mind, the consciousness, the clear and the knowing that explain here, it's not really necessary like it's a Buddha's or the Buddhist teaching have explained. The clear and the knowing, the nature of the mind is explained in many, many, many different tradition, religious tradition, as well as in general. Not necessarily stick with a kind of a particular religion, but in general knowledge. We live with the mind and the body, and we experience, what was that? What is sentient, what is not sentient is like someone who can feel, someone who can plan, someone who can feel pain and pleasure. Okay, someone who can really feel, pain and pleasure. That's a sentence. And someone who have no ability to feel pain and pleasure in the sense of like happiness, they are not sentient. And I could make the kind of statement: robot have no ability to feel pain or pleasure, but then the human being and the other being, yes. And then the tree, I don't think it has the ability to feel pain or pleasure, but tree plants, when you are growing, the people who are planting, like there are tree or the flowers that the human being plant them, water them, keep in the what do you call it, the sunlight where it's supposed to get the proper condition to grow, like a very loving way. And then I think I shared this story. His Holiness was sharing one, his own personal, experience somewhere in America, actually. Someone who was doing some, like observation about, about like a plant. You get the kind of sibling from nursery. We call this a nursery, and then the plant, your garden. Let's say that. And then he or she, I don't know, it's really with the very mindful care, loving, water them, then whatever the condition you have to create to grow. And it's grow really beautifully. The the leaves, the flowers, everything just come to blooming like very lovingly. If someone who have really good heart, some gentle softness, it grow much better. And then someone who have little mental, kind of nature is more hostility, little kind of all the time being negative, angry, sort of thing. When they try the same plant they are planting, the other hand, it doesn't grow that well. So it must, this indication is more like, if you are doing things with the loving, even the external, like plants also grow, reacting something that they are also like a friendly with us. So this one indication that the mind construct, what was that? From the, remember that? What was that? Oh yeah, it is the mind itself that constructed the sentient world, as well as the utterly diverse container world. We were talking about that. Construct meaning it's more, let's say, the mind program. Another word, the mind really programmed the external world. It doesn't mean the mind become the external world. The mind really, let's say, create. Why not? There's nothing wrong to say create. It doesn't mean the external was not exist, because so if the mind is not existent, external not existent. Um, there's a different levels to understand. There's different levels of understand with that. What is that? Yeah, I was checking what does construct mean and what's not. It has like, it's actually agent. Another, okay, let's go to the what he's telling us here. And this actually in from 91, which means little earlier time. And that time, not much kind of, I think, very early stage to having this, conversation with the modern scientists or the modern educationists. So maybe nowadays, if you watch the later part of this like a dialogue or the conversation, you may find slightly different words could be there. I mean, different terms, because you can't really say what exactly you believe in it, because these terms are in certain setting is kind of alien. you know Alien meaning they don't have idea what do you mean. When it's from the our from the classical uh psychologist perspective, you can't really impose people to understand like that. For example, we talk about the intelligent, increase intelligence, and there are people who say intelligent just looking for somewhere, some sort of intelligent on outside there, not inside. But to me, and the way that I learned, the way I was turned, like a trained, when you say intelligent, it has to be part of the mind, not really external. No way. This is my understanding. Whether you use the same term or not, yes, artificial intelligence, you could use the term, but that not necessarily intelligent is external thing. Intelligence has to be part of the mind. And then in the Tibetan word, it's sherab, wisdom, intelligent, are kind of same meaning in the Tibetan word. I think in Hindi or Sanskrit also, but I'm not sure. But then again, the consciousness and consciousness, mind consciousness, awareness, the translation that English language we can find, there are certain, contexts, they are exactly the same. In a certain context, you can make differentiation between these. It's even say promote awareness about environmental, protection. That doesn't mean the awareness of the mind. It's mean like what is that? Does it or not? Someone, let's say, environmental, activist, somebody who is working to get awareness among the people, how important to take care of the environment. Then we use the term in, like, what was that? Awareness. In that sense, awareness doesn't mean the mind, right? Yes.
Well, I think awareness means the same thing, but the context that it's
Mhm.
being used in, and what type of perceptions you're talking about are different. Because
What type?
awareness of the environment
Mhm.
means that you can see all these different things and what's happening in them. Awareness.
Right. What's happening? You are aware.
Start to begin to understand how your mind functions, apply mindfulness possibly, apply other things. I think the term awareness is still the same. It's just this very different context.
Different context, exactly. That's what I meant. Yeah, it's with a different context. So because of that, in awareness, if you study in the classical text, what is the definition of awareness? And then you always refer to the mind that you are aware with. And we are aware with the external thing, or you are aware with what is going on inside yourself. Yeah, it's exactly true. Okay, let's see what is. There are two reasons why it is important to understand the nature of the mind. The nature of the mind. Okay, these are the keyword. Keep our mind, nature of the mind. What is the nature of the mind? You can ask all the time for yourself and then try to find some kind of answer. One is because there is innate connection between mind and karma, our actions. So karma means our actions, right? So karma means our actions, and then it has three types, three actions. Mental, in the main, the real karma is intention, is a mental, it's mind, it's mental factors. Out of the two, mind and mental factors, is mental factors. It's mental factors, not really the primary mind. Mind have in loosen, mind mean all the mind and anything that is like a non physical, but it's more like experience, in the nature of the experience or consciousness is mind. And another one is mind, primary mind, and then mental factor. The two things are there. Primary mind and mental factors. Keep this in mind. What does it mean? You will come. Primary mind, there are 6 primary mind. And then mental factors in different classical texts where you have indicated like 52 or 51 mental factors, depending on the different, there's Abhidharma. Abhidharma is called this Abhidharma, Buddhist epistemology. 2 traditions are there. And Pali and then Sanskrit, I think. Pali tradition and the Sanskrit tradition. And it has 51 or 52. These are, it will come later. And then, okay, here, intention, the karma, the mental, the karma, the action of the mental is mind, is the intention. And with the intention, you have the verbal action and
It's
then
11 hours.
Oh, verbal action and then physical action. Get it? Verbal action meaning when we speak, our mind is actually, before speak, the mind actually tell us to speak. It's really quick in between, but we may not aware, but it's the thought that comes in our mind, and then you speak without the thought or the thinking come before. You can't really, the speak cannot come. What do you think? Sometimes you say something, we often say these things, I just say without thinking. Right? But there's a subtler, the mind has to play some role to speak and act with our physical body. But this is for the sentient beings. But when you talk about the Buddhas, there's different stories are there. But here, it's more like a verbal, and the verbal action and the physical actions driven by the mental consciousness, mind. Let's say mind. I want to just stick with the mind rather than different terms. It's okay to use some different terms. The different terms are used for the different contexts sometimes. But here, the first person experience rather than second person. Okay. Yes.
I have a question about the so for something to be karma, does it
Karma.
need to be preceded by mind?
Yeah.
And intention, right? Say like,
Intention, yes.
say for example, like, you know, I step outside and it's cold and the hairs stand up. Would this not be considered an action, right? Just because it's just like a bodily response.
Right.
I'm wondering if there's this distinct, like,
I see.
you could kind of use this for action in English as well, where like
Right.
for something to be an action rather than just like a behavior.
Oh, behavior.
or
Okay.
response,
Response.
there needs to be some people in action theory, so there needs to be an intention for it to be an action. This is similar to karma.
Yeah, there are some karma or action that take place without intention. That's yes too. It makes some sense in the differentiation between that. Yes.
Could you give an example of an action without intention for karma?
Karma?
Yeah, you're saying like you would use karma in a way that doesn't imply there was an intention to that karma.
No, it's the verbal action and the physical actions are, let's say, like driven by the intention of the what was that? The main action is the mental one, which is the intention. The verbal action and then the physical action is not really count as a karma in such. It's more like a manifestation of the intention, I guess.
Right, I see. The intention is karma.
Yeah, the intention is the karma. Yeah, the intention itself is the karma.
Right.
The verbal and the physical is, yes, you call it a kind of action, but in the context of the karma itself is not. Karma has to be something that has connected with the consciousness, meaning it's a part of consciousness. It's one example of the mental factors, which is mind. So yeah.
So when you said that an action, like a physical action, can be I think you said this, like a manifestation of our
Intention.
So like, I guess when you go out, when you make the choice to go step outside and then your hair stands up on your arm, it's like a manifestation of.
It's a physiology reaction, I guess. There are some kind of chemical or the nervous systems in a reaction rather than karma, I would say. I don't think we count as a karma that. Karma is not that loose. Karma is meaning it's intention. This is what it should be. Karma should be mind rather than verbal and physical. It is the real intention, the action. I'm sorry, karma is intention, but not all intention necessarily be karma. So you can make the differentiation. The intention is a bigger category, and then the karma is the example of the intention. Are getting it? So when you go little down, where you have there are 5 omnipresent mental factors. When you study the mental factors, mind and mental factors, I say that, okay? Mind and mental factors, and mental factors where we have 51, let's say 51 mental factors, and out of the 51, there are 5 mental factors known as the 5 omnipresent mental factor, or another right term is 5 ever-present mental factors. Ever-present mental factors, which means any mind, these 5 these 5 mental factors always accompanying with it. So our eye consciousness, our ear, the nose, and the tongue, and then the mental consciousness. Any of this mind that cognizing, let's say my eye consciousness are cognizing this phone, and it has the intention, it has the contact, it has the discrimination, and it has the attention. These 5 is always involved. It's always, like a company, but it will come more in detail in the, I think, almost at the very end. It's almost the very end.
So
Yes, Shima.
Yes.
Example could mean control. I mean, you can choose whether to go outside or not. You can't choose whether the hair on your arms is going to stand up.
Yeah.
But you can't choose whether to put on a coat or not.
Right, that's true. That's right. That's really good analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I think somebody on the
Yes, I had it. Yes, guess
one
not.
minute. Okay, Brian? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a question I had right from the right from the first teaching, because it says, well, let me just give an example. If we make the assumption that killing is bad, so if a hunter goes out into the woods, he brings his gun and he has an intention to shoot a deer, shoot and kill a deer. But he goes out into the woods and he either doesn't find any deer or he shoots and misses, so he never kills a deer. So what is karma created then?
Okay. You're bringing a really good example here. So the karma, we have different types of karmas are there. Definite karmas, not definite karmas, and then virtuous karma, non-virtuous karma, and then non-virtuous karma have like a heavy, middle, and slightly light, and it has to have 4 different kind of component. It has to be there: the intention, the action, and then finally you have done the action, and then the 4th, you are rejoicing whatever you have done. If this, with all these 4 components, if you have completed that kind of action, if you have created for killing, for example, a hunter go with his or her, I don't know, do we have women hunter? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Go
Yes.
with the gun and to the wood with the gun or the knife, whatever, and go to the wood planning. Okay, this is the intention. It's the intention is you are planning to go to the wood to kill the deer, right? And the intentions are there, and then actual, the real action that you are really walking into the wood, and that's pointing the gun to the deer and shooting. That's the real action, right? He or she is really enjoying, he's really thinking that full of energy that he's going to complete his task and shoot. And then this is the action taking place, both the intent with the intention, and then the physical action is actually taking place, and shoot the deer, and then kill. And then when the deer died, when you realize that the deer is killed, the dead, and then you are really rejoicing what you have done. You're, instead of regretting, if you are really rejoicing what you have done is right, I fulfill it, and we say like, I feel so happy that I've done it, I planned it, and I really did my action and done. If you're really rejoicing that kind of, with this whole complete procedure, if you kill, then you are creating very, very heavy karma. And here we use the deer. If someone kill human being with this 4, component, the 4 procedures, with complete with this, if killed human being, and then that very, very, very negative, heavy karma that we consider, meaning, the result, you have to go straight to hell. Or lower ram. You will be reborn in lower ram. This is what we, say. And then, okay, you have the intention to kill, and you really, like engage into the activities, and then you shoot, you kill it, but you feel like guilt, you feel like a regret, what I've done is wrong, and this is a really bad thing that I have done, and then you have really feel really regret, where you have the final one is not really completed, and it's slightly lighter, it's not that heavy, like a negative action we consider. And these are it's called like indefinite karma, indefinite karma, virtuous karma, non-virtuous karma, meritorious karma, non-meritorious karma. There are many different kind of classifications are there. So it's something, it's like a law of nature. It's not really somebody have create for us. It's like a more like a law of nature, we call it. Okay,
And
Brian.
in that person's example,
Mhm.
I mean, when the hunter is looking for the deer,
Mhm.
that's the hunter's karma.
Yeah.
The deer has its own karma, maybe,
That's
which is
true.
to avoid the hunter.
Yeah.
And they got 2 karmas coming together.
Collective karma. What do you call it?
Almost in my case, it's bad karma for the deer.
Yeah, it's karma is quite complex, but it's also simple. Sometimes it is some certain way thing we could explain this more kind of in a case, it's a simple way, but it's really complex what you say.
It is complicated.
Very complex, yes. When you're saying maybe the deer may have created some kind of karma in the previous time that he or she was going to kill by this hunter. I don't know, because the fruit or the result, the action of killing, the karma that you killed, like human being or others, and then the result for if I kill, like so, the result have like two results are there. And what was that? Okay, with the full complete procedure, the killing, you're going to reborn into like a hell realm. And even though you have the action have the result, and then the way that you react is also the result. It's actually mentioned like you will be reborn into, you will be reborn to hell realm, and then also even though you are reborn in like a human or others, you may have come the consequences that you may have like a health problem, injury, surgery, all this, and these kind of result that you may have to feel, you may have to like face.
But there's also motivation, even motivation behind the killing.
Mm-hmm.
Native Americans, I understand, when they would hunt to feed their people in their tribe, they would thank the animal before they killed or after they killed, but they were doing it to feed their people. So motivation too is, I think, so important to karma, right?
Motivation, the intention.
I think, oh, that's awful, but I don't know the situation.
That's another tricky thing here, actually, because we eat meat. That's really, yeah.
Complex.
Just real quick, sorry, just to sort of expand upon this question. So I forget the exact, I think you said 5 different steps of
Four.
or 4. I forget the exact names of all of them, but I know you said the last one was to rejoice.
Register, yeah.
So if, so
Yeah.
in case that the hunter, plans and goes out and has the intention to kill and he doesn't, and he ultimately does not kill, whether he doesn't find it or he misses, and then he does not rejoice in that result. Does that like, how does that
You're creating lighter karma, not the very heavy karma, heavy killing karma.
okay. But he's like,
When you're not
disappointed
rejoicing.
that he did not kill.
He's not disappointed. I think he feels happy that he didn't kill.
Well,
But I mean, if he missed or if he didn't really shoot,
but he meant to kill, like that. His intention was.
yeah, the intention was, he was intentionally, he was planning to kill, right?
Yeah, and then.
Okay, the fourth thing is, that the term that we use, I don't know, I have to find like a better term, I'm not sure, but it says the 4 point that you need to keep, you say like at the base, she, in Tibetan we call it she, meaning the base, the object or the person or the human, I'm sorry, the deer or anything that you're going to kill, you have to have the base, okay? Base, she, and then the intention. So you want to kill that particular deer. Okay, let's say in the Vinaya Sutra where you have given like this, a very good, kind of example. Someone named Tashi, and who are planning to kill somebody named Tenzin. Okay, the Tenzin is the base, and then the killer named Tashi, who have that motivation to kill him. Okay, second one is intention. First one is the base. Second one is the intention. And then the third one is the action. What you're going to use, you're going to beat, or you're going to stone, or you're going to shoot. And, they really, you are engaging into the action. Number 3. And then the number 4, the base, which the object that you're going to, the person or the human beings that you're going to kill, it's, killed, meaning he was separated, his mind and the body is separated. When the, killing mean when the mind is ejected from the, body of the beings, and then it is, he or she is dead. Then you're rejoicing that you have done it. Okay, this 4 is in there. But, okay, now here. This is one interesting things are here. So the killer was Tashi, okay? And then the person that you're going to kill is, here we're talking about a human being, Tenzin. But there are 2 persons almost like identical. One is known as a Tenzin, another one is known, say Lobsang, or maybe your name, Ilis, okay? There are 2 persons, and then the Tashi was planning to kill Tenzin, and he goes to find where is Tenzin, and then he found, instead of Tenzin, he found Ilis, and he shoot Ilis, then kill. In this case, one branch is missing, meaning his intention was kill Tenzin, not you, not Ilis. Sorry, but mistakenly you kill Ilis instead of Tenzin. So one, branch of killing is missing. Whether that is like a heavier, really heaviest killing action taking place or not, he considered not heaviest, because he didn't have the intention to kill Ilis, but he had the Tenzin had the intention to kill, sorry, Tashi have the intention to kill Tenzin, but not Ilis. But mistakenly, he or she killed Ilis. So one branch is missing. The 33 may be complete. So you consider not really heavy, like a negative or heaviest killing, but yes, still you're committing killing. You have created the killing, like a karma. And then whether you have to reborn into hell realms, whether you have to really, face the consequences as, how you really kill the person is similar kind of, like a, suffering that you have to go in the future or not. But if you feel really regret after some time, whatever you have done in the past isn't wrong, you do a lot of confession, say sorry, apologize, and you can purify. You can really purify. Okay, haven't you have you heard like a Jetsun Milarepa? Jetsun Milarepa. Jetsun Milarepa, yes. So in Tibet, we had a great meditators known as Jetsun Milarepa. His name is Jetsun Milarepa. He's very famous. And he was a practitioner of, I think, 11th or 12th century. And I'll tell his story. It's a very important story. And it's a real life. It's a real story, okay? It's a real story. And he was the younger brother. He had one sister and the mom and his dad, okay? So his father was passed away when they were really young. The two children were really young. And then before the father passed away, because the children are very young, and they were farmer in central Tibet. They were farmer. Okay, they farm for their living. And his father passed away, and then before his father passed away, he actually asked his brother and then his brother wife, please take care of my children and until they grow up, until they stand by themselves, to help his wife. That he's going to die, he's not there to take care of them. And he asked his brother to take care of 3 of them. And then they promised, yes, we will do. And when the father died, soon after he died, what his brother and the wife did, instead of taking care of the mothers and the 2 young child, he just took all their wealth, their, like fields, the things, material things that in their home, taken to their house, and then used 3 of them as their servant. not even feeding them well, not even giving like a right, like the require very basic kind of, requirement of the clothes, the food, or whatever. And this uncle and the auntie, they treat them really badly, really, really badly. And then, you should watch the movie. You have my movie on. I think it's available online. And then when they grow up a little bit, and then his mother cannot really tolerate with that, because these are their materials, not really there. And she called the neighbor people who knows these belonging are theirs, not the uncle and auntie. They called them to have the meeting, and then they're my neighbor. No, this time, I don't think there's a court or anything. What they have to do is the villagers gather together, and if there's a conflict, if there's a problem, they sort it out. So she called the neighbor people to come and help me. And she prepared tea sort of thing. And then she just asked, before my husband passed away, and you all know that he asked my, like, I don't know, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, something we call it. Yeah. And help me and my two child. So now my children are grown up. So I am seeking, please return my, like a material, my thing to us. And then the uncle and auntie, what did they did instead? No, it's given to us. We look after you. You do whatever. There's chaos, fist fight. Instead of giving their property, giving their, like things, they just what happened? Yeah, I think they let them go away from the home. But then, yeah, so the mother was feel like what do you call it, the devastated. And she was really, really disappointed, and she created some kind of hatred toward the brother-in-law and the mother, father, sister-in-law. And okay, now she need to plan something, otherwise no, it's nothing is working. What she asked to her son, who is a Jetsun Mila at that time, and asked him, you please help to sort it out, our problem. And she asked him to go to learn how to play black magic. To retaliate to his brother-in-law and sister-in-law. And she said, please, you should go and learn, and then eliminate the brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and then bring back our belonging. If you do not really do what I'm telling you to do, I will kill in front of you myself. I will kill myself in front of you. This is what she said. And then she went, so he had to, obey to, his mom. And he went to search somebody who can teach him how to play black magic. Uh, those time in Tibet is quite common, actually, interestingly. It has something to do, I think, the, indigenous religion in a way, not religion, I'm not sure whether religion or not. And he found somebody who can, teach him how to play black magic, and he learned, and he was able to do it. I'm sorry, it's a really, really true story. He was a really smart person. He learned how to play black magic, and then he was doing on the top of the mountain somewhere. And the uncle and auntie, I think they were having like a wedding party of their children, using the Jusumila and his mom and their wealth to using their wealth to marriage party for their own children. It's a house where you have, like, I don't know, like 8 different kind of pillars. It's considered to be like a luxury house those times. It's a big house where you have like no, four pillars, and then the 8 beams. It's known as the house is known as, which has like 8 beams and the 4 pillars. It's in the textbooks, you can find it. and he played black magic, and he was able to destroy the house, collapsing while they were having marriage, like a wedding party in the house. He, how did he do? He played the magic. He appeared as a scorpion. Scorpion who have like a very, strong kind of what do you call it, horn, and catch to the pillar, and what is that? Uh, Taken out the pillar so that the house will collapse. And all the others were like in drinking, having party. They were like a wilderness. I mean, they were in the wilderness. And he just like really, really destroyed the house. And I think how many people? 30 something died. I think 30 plus he killed that much people. Oh gosh, what happened? And they were checking, how did this happen? Because then we played the black magic, and then it's a thunderstorm, hell, and so many. The weather's also changed, and then also taking the pillar out and it's there. But now here, the very good story here is, and he killed that much, and then this is what the mother was so happy when she saw this is happening. She thought, yes, my son did it, he really succeeds to do it. She was so happy. She was on her roof, and then shouting, said, I'm so happy that my son did what I asked him to do. And then the villager were just confused. What is happening here? And okay, Jetsun Mila he was known as at that time Tujen. Tujen means like a powerful magician. And then after some time, he returned back to the village, and then all the villager know that he played the black magic, killed that much people, and everybody was so, there were some people who were not dead, were, like really scared, treating him like very badly, la, 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 la. But then he felt really, really, really regret what he have done is wrong. He felt really regret when he shouldn't kill people, definitely. But he had to do it with his mother's, what do you call it, like in demand, his mother's wish. But then after some time, he was really, really regret what he have done is wrong. And then he felt like the samsaric life is just meaningless. What I have created is so bad karma. So now really need to confess, and I need to really purify instead of continue to engaging into the negative action. And then he just left the village, and she was searching his teacher, some teacher that he could teach him how to really purify his negativities, the negative action that he have created. And he was really, really strong kind of wish to purify. So he went to search teacher, and then he found good teacher. Let me finish. We have, the time is already over. It's really important, but he found the right. Yeah, he met a few teachers who can give some teaching, but he was really sharp person. His mind is really, really sharp. He can learn really quickly, and then he can, like make big differences very quickly because of some imprints from many in previous lifetime probably. And he found the right teacher at the end, and he got enlightened in that. He really purified all the negativities that we have created in this lifetime and even the before, and he become the most important, most renowned, very good teachers to the people of Tibet and put to the people of us. It's his experience, his understanding, his purification, how he did is so beautiful. So he become really real Buddha in this one lifetime. It's really inspiring. If you read his stories, it's called like Nyamgur, and then he teach with the poetry and in the form of like more kind of experiential song. There are volumes of his teaching, in the form of like it's known as an experiential song. Experiential song is very, very important. And we have already, like 11:30. I'm sorry, we didn't finish. Let me read this His Holiness thought. This is very good, story to know. 1 minute, okay?
No, take your time.
I will just read
will
this.
remember it later.
Yeah,
Fast.
Jetsun Milarepa. Very inspiring story. Okay, His Holiness, where he said, because what one is because there is innate connection between mind and karma. Because we were elaborating with the karma, right? The other is that our state of mind plays a crucial role in our experience of happiness and suffering. See, happiness and suffering, or pleasure or pain. Pleasure or pain are more kind of little shallow word. I guess instead of pleasure and pain, happiness and suffering is better. It gives little deeper meaning, right? It is therefore essential to understand the mind, to systematically purifying and enhancing the mind for the process of achieving enlightenment. Beautiful. So achieving enlightenment means if you've become fully awakened from the sleep of ignorance, and then the aversion, and the hatred, and then attachment, and then all the other negativities. Okay, I think we should stop. Sorry, Debbie, we can talk a little about your question about the Jamila. I can give you.
It's
Yeah.
about your story.
Sorry?
It's about your story.
Oh, my story.
The one you just.
Oh, I see. The Jamila story. Yes, very inspiring story. There. Okay, now we will stop today. So thank you so much for your attention. And we haven't really started psychology yet, but it's a part of psychology for sure. Psychology meaning, study our mind very in a systematic way, how to train. So thank you very much for everyone, online, offline. Sorry we were telling the story. It's a very, very inspiring story. Some of you may know what is the story of Jetsun Milarepa, and some of you may not know. Maybe it's good to read and watch those documentary about him. It's very, very inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mentally do some dedication. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gishima. It was
Thank you.
wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.